Hi, and welcome to Classic Advice. My name is Scarlett Classic. I am your host. This is my podcast all about my advice that I'd like to share with you. I also have co-hosts on, and they bring their own unique experience and expertise to the show, which is awesome. So I'm so happy that you decided to join, and let's dive right into the episode. Before we start the episode, though, I want to say a special hello to my new friend in Bangladesh. My stats tell me that you are in the Khulna division. I think I said that right. Hello, and welcome to the Classic Advice community. So lovely to have you here. All right, let's dive in. Blooming and growing through hardships. Have you ever heard that saying? I love this saying. A calm sea never made a good sailor. How true is that? If you only have calm waters, how do you learn to handle a storm? Right? I love that saying. Love it. Challenges in life are inevitable. So let's reframe to look at it as if it's an opportunity to grow. Instead of looking up at that wave, that monstrous storm, or those looming clouds in the distance, and instead of being scared and terrified and frozen, unable to move, paralyzed in our own fear, let's learn and let's reframe it and look at it as an opportunity to grow and I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. And an opportunity to prove our worth. And yes, I can do this. I am a very good sailor. I have a plank of wood over the entryway, or like the doorway that goes into my dining room, and this is what it says. It says, quote, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain," unquote. Isn't that beautiful? That's so, I love dancing in the rain. I love it. I love it when a storm and just the thunder and the house just like vibrates with the thunder. I love it. I love thunderstorms. Or a good snowstorm. Love those too. And we've all experienced trauma in some shape or form or another. Once we heal from it, because we can't skip that step. Once we heal from it, once we process it, what can we do to grow and help others? I'm not a real big fan of that quote that goes like this, quote, "I thank my trauma for making me a stronger person," unquote. No, I am not thankful for the trauma that has happened in my life. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I make no apologies. I am not thankful for the trauma that I've experienced in my life, because it was traumatic. It was terrible. It was awful. The people around me, that is what I'm thankful for. The people around me that were there for me, that supported me, that helped me through it, for my psychologists and psychiatrists that helped me navigate those difficult waters. They were my captains. For Roy, I love you, honey. I know you're listening. I love you because you helped me get through some of the most terrible years of my life. That's what I'm thankful for. I'm not thankful for the trauma that had happened and that it, quote, made me a stronger person, blah, blah, blah. No. I'm thankful for the people in my life that were there for me, that taught me how to be a stronger person. And I'm thankful for me because I did the work, I did it, and I got through it. And I became a stronger person because I put in the work. For example, to go back after you hear from it, what can we do to help others? For example, what I'm doing is this, my podcast. I make myself available to anybody and everybody to be an ear and to listen. I make myself available to others to help the next person that's behind me. And yeah, there's still people ahead of me that are helping and mentoring me. Roy, thank you for being in my life and being there for me when I'm having a bad day and I can chat your ear off. Dave, thank you for being my coach and my mentor and my friend. But that's what I'm also doing. So I challenge you to do the same thing, to make yourself available for the people around you. Hardship creates resilience. Resilience is key because it helps you reach your goals and your dreams. Nothing worth having is easy to get, right? Losing weight, for example, I'm trying to get in shape. I'm trying to lose some weight. I'm trying to get in shape. So I'm regularly going downstairs. I'm riding that stationary bike. I'm lifting my weights. I'm eating healthier. Losing weight won't happen overnight. And I think that's what gets a lot of people, is because they take a diet pill or they do exercises for a month or 3 months or 6 months and they expect it to just be like instant, and it's not. It's a lifestyle. Especially for me, when I was younger, in my 20s, if I wanted to drop 5 pounds, I would just fast for a day. Ta-da! It was great. Those days are no more. They're gone. It was great. Well, it lasted, but they're gone. Now, I really have to work at it. I have to watch what I eat. I have to exercise. I have to do all the little steps, and I can't just do it for a couple of weeks and expect it to be shazam. No, I got it. It's a lifestyle. So resilience is key for doing this podcast. Resilience is key. I have to show up well, I don't have to, but I want to show up week after week after week for you guys, because you show up for me and I want to be there for you. For writing my novel, I have to keep going. I have to keep writing, because it's not just going to magically appear on my laptop. Wouldn't that be nice? But not going to happen. Your mindset really, really matters when you're going through hardships. Resilience. You can do this. You're in the middle of the storm, but you just got to keep going. Resilience is key. The next thing that is key is your mindset. You got to keep your mindset positive. You can do this. If you need that little person in your ear, you can do this. I'm your person. I will be that person for you, 100%. You can do this. Keep going. I got your back. I believe in you. I believe that you can do your dream. I believe that you can do this. Your mindset, it's got to be positive. Yes, it's stuff happens. I've got another word for it, but I'm not going to say it. Stuff happens. Bad things happen. Yes. Hardships happen. Yes. But you will get through this. Keep positives. Find the good in every situation. If you journal every day, I want you to find something that you're grateful for and at least one thing that went right that day. And if you're like, oh, Scarlett, nothing went right today. It just was so bad and this and that and this happened. Did you, yeah, you had a lot of running around to do and your day was really crappy and your day was really bad because your boss was yelling at you and this, that, and the other thing. Did your car break down? No. Okay, that's one thing that went well today. Just one. Just one, and focus on that one thing that went well today. Keep your mindset positive. And I know it's hard. I'm not saying that this stuff is easy. Don't get me wrong. This is not easy. It's not. But you can do it. And keeping a positive mindset even when you're wading through mud and dirt and it's gross and there's bugs and life is just a swamp right now. Find the butterfly. Find the one thing and keep going. Next is learn from your failures. An example, when I lived over in Europe, my computer crashed and I lost all of my stories that I was writing. I had a few. I lost it all. Gone. Poof. I didn't write for years after that. It just killed all of my drive. Just gone. I was devastated. But I learned from it and I back everything up now. Everything is backed up. So I learned from my mistake of not having a backup. Now I do. Setbacks are going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I tell that to my kids all the time. Like I've mentioned before, I drive a 93 Dynasty to work. That's my daily driver. The transmission in it, I can tell, is going because it's shifting hard. It's an automatic, but it's shifting hard. Sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes. And in the wintertime, because I live in Canada where I am, it gets really cold sometimes. So I tell my kids, you keep ski pants, even if you're not wearing them, you bring them every day. If you want to leave them in the car because it's warm and you don't want to wear them at recess, fine. But they stay in the car and you always bring them. Always having a blanket in the car. And then this spring, I broke down and I'm so happy because it couldn't have been a better scenario. I got a flat tire, but it was a beautiful morning and my kids were with me and I was so happy that they got to see it because they got to see what I was talking about it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, you guys. When we break down, we're going to want to have warm clothes. Now, it happened when it was like 20 degrees outside, so it didn't matter, but that could happen in the wintertime. So setbacks are inevitable, but how we deal with them is different. Levi pulled out his novel. He had it in his backpack. Riley didn't have any books or novels or anything, so I gave him my phone. He played on my phone, and I took out my book because I always have a book and my journal in my purse, so I whipped that out. I read my book while I waited for my awesome husband, Roy, love you, honey, to come and rescue me. and it was whatever. It was what it was. I called my boss. She's like, oh yeah, okay, well, if you can't make it into work today, it's fine. Just if it gets too late, you can just go home. It's fine. I totally understand. She's awesome. I let the boys' teachers know, and they're like, oh yeah, that happens. Right? Setbacks are going to happen. Our attitude when the setbacks happen is a game changer if we can keep it positive. This next one is really important. Having failures does not make you a failure. Did you hear that? I'm going to repeat it. Having failures does not make you a failure. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe she was rejected by a number of publishing houses before she was actually accepted. What? That's insane. J.K. Rowling being rejected? That's insane. Her books are like world-renowned bestsellers. Just because one publishing house didn't take her on, didn't make her a failure. She didn't stop. She kept going and she kept submitting her manuscripts to different publishing houses until somebody picked her up, and I bet they are just dancing on cloud 9 right now. Another example is Edison said this when a newspaper reporter asked him how he felt failing 1,000 times. He said, quote, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps," unquote. Another quote of his is, quote, "I haven't failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work," unquote. Edison was not a failure. He just didn't find the way that worked yet. Your failures don't define you. They don't make you a failure. That just means you failed. It just makes you human, because humans fail at things sometimes. One hardship that I faced was being a single mother. I have 2 young boys. I was terrified. I was absolutely, it was just that storm on, I could see it coming. He was on the horizon, and then eventually I was getting just pelted down with rain, and I was absolutely terrified. I was terrified. If there was a stronger word than terrified, I would use that. But I just took it one step at a time. I took it one day at a time. I took it 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, and I got through it. And it taught me that I didn't have anything to fear to begin with. And when I was in the storm, I wasn't even out of the storm yet, and it dawned on me the one day that I got this. I can do this. I'm fine. My boys are fine. We're all going to be fine. I got this. I can do this. When I realized that, I was like, I was silly to have anything to fear. The storm was bad. Yes, but I got this. And so do you. Whatever it is that you're going through, you got this. You can do this. Where is your community? A lot of things I shouldered alone, but it doesn't mean you have to. It's a lot easier when you have a community. If you don't have anyone in your community, and I know I've said this before, but I would love to be in your community. I would love to hear from you. Lean on your people. Us humans are a very community-oriented species. So when you're going through hard times, talk to somebody. When you're in it, try not to look up and see the whole storm around you. Try to just focus on that next wave. The next wave that you have to get over. Focus on that. And take it one wave at a time. One wave at a time. And eventually, it will dawn on you that the waves aren't as big anymore. That they're starting to get smaller, and that the storm is coming to an end. That there's a little bit of blue sky over there in the horizon. You can see it now. At the end is coming. And that you're almost through. One of my favorite quotes that my mom has passed down to me, that a dear friend of hers used to say to her when she would call her when she was going through hard times, is this: "This too shall pass. Storms don't last forever. This too shall pass. This hardship will pass." And I know when you're in the middle of it, when you're at the beginning of it, and you just see those storm clouds in front of you and it hasn't even hit you yet, and you see how huge it is when the storm is actually on top of you and you're in the middle and the waves are like 5 stories high, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to end, and you're exhausted and you're feeling so beat down. It doesn't seem like it will ever be over, but it will. It will. And I am in that boat with you. I've got an oar and I'm right beside you. I'm with you and I'm telling you that I can see the blue sky, even if you can't right now. I can see it. So my challenge for you guys this week is this. Focus on what you can do, not what you cannot do. Focus on one wave at a time. And what can you do to deal with just that one problem right now? Focus on one thing, one wave at a time. What you can do, and go do that. And what you can't do, don't worry about that. Focus on what you can do. Before we leave, I'm going to leave you with my dear friend JJ's tagline, which is please pause. Take a deep breath. Love yourself through the hardship. Don't forget to love yourself. And be aware of your ripple. Thank you guys for being here with me today. This is a bit of a heavier episode that I wasn't even really prepared for myself. But I appreciate you all for being here, for showing up for me, for being a part of my community, for being in my boat and doing life with me. You guys are amazing. And I'm so blessed to have each and every one of you in my life. Have a awesome week. I wish you the best, and we will catch you next week, all right? All right. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you for listening all the way to the very end. Aw, you're the best. My website is ClassicChronicles.ca. If you want to head on over there, I have my co-hosts all listed there. If you click on their photos, it'll take you directly to their website. Go say hi to them. They would love to hear from you. Podcasters love hearing from their listeners. So go say hi. Don't be shy. And if you want to as well, there is a Buy Me a Coffee link on there, which all the proceeds I use to just pour right back into my podcast. It does cost me just a little bit to have this podcast going, and I would love to be able to support it instead of taking it out of my own pocket and maybe, take the kids for an ice cream because they don't like coffee. I love coffee though. So, all right, you guys take care and we'll see you next week. Bye.